Something strange is happening in the British truck world. Old lorries nobody cared about a few years ago are suddenly selling for shocking prices. Collectors are moving fast as values are rising even faster, and no one seems to know where the climb ends. So let's talk about 10 forgotten British lorries that are expected to climb in value. Starting with number 10, we have Dodge Commando. The Dodge Commando became part of the final UK Dodge era after Chrysler Europe was sold to PSA in 1978, and the commercial vehicle operation was later sold to Renault Véhicules Industriels in 1983. After the 1983 sale, Renault Véhicules Industriels took control of the operation rather than it being a partnership arrangement. Production of Commando models continued through the 1980s as Renault gradually absorbed the operation. These later Renault-era models featured distinctive Renault cab designs, while retaining Dodge badging for certain markets. The Commando served as a fleet favourite for municipal and distribution operators across Britain during this transition period. Surviving examples had become extremely scarce due to the brutal nature of municipal work. Most Commandos were scrapped after serving their intended lifespan. The combination of Renault engineering and Dodge heritage makes these trucks particularly interesting to collectors focusing on transition period vehicles. Values for clean survivors have been rising fast among collectors specialising in this often overlooked era of British commercial vehicle history. At number 9, we have Dennis Elite. Dennis Eagle introduced the Elite chassis in the 1990s as a low-entry refuse collection chassis for municipal work. The 4-floor Dennis factory in Guildford was the first purpose-built motor vehicle factory in Britain. Dennis developed and patented a reliable worm drive into a differential mounted on the back axle. Dennis made its first fire engine in 1908 for Bradford Council Fire Department. The company recognised less competition in the commercial vehicle market and ceased car production in 1913. The Elite featured distinctive styling that set it apart from conventional truck chassis. Early generations of the Elite incorporated Dennis's specialised engineering for low-speed stop-start operations. The chassis featured robust construction designed to withstand the demanding nature of municipal work. Dennis Eagle supplied Elite chassis mainly from the 1990s onward rather than throughout the 1980s. The quirky styling and municipal heritage make surviving Elite examples highly collectible. Very few examples were preserved due to their working nature. Collectors appreciate the Dennis Elite for its distinctive appearance and specialised engineering. Values have been climbing as collectors recognise these trucks represent unique British engineering solutions. At number 8 we have Leyland Constructor 30 Series. The Leyland Constructor replaced the Scammell Rootman 8-wheeler when the T45 range was introduced in 1980. The Constructor was aimed at the construction and quarrying sectors. British Leyland invested £350 million in the T45 engineering programme. The Constructor utilised the T45 C40 cab design that won International Truck of the Year awards. The chassis owed much to the outgoing Scammell Rootman design. Constructors were available in 6-wheel and 8-wheel configurations. Some Constructor units were built with Scammell badging to maintain brand loyalty. The Constructor 30 Series served as the workhorse of British quarries and construction sites throughout the 1980s. These trucks handled demanding applications, including aggregate hauling and concrete mixing. The construction icon status drives values upward as examples become increasingly difficult to locate. At number 7, we have Foden 4000 Series. The Foden 4000 series represented the final true Foden design before rebadged DAF models replaced indigenous production. Packer acquired Foden in 1980 and initially allowed the company to continue independent development. The 4000 series trucks competed directly with European manufacturers in the heavy-duty sector. These trucks featured Foden's traditional robust construction methods. The non-T-cab variants of the 4000 series have been overshadowed by the later T-cab models that utilised DAF cab designs. The earlier 4000 series models maintained Foden's distinctive design language. Operators could specify Eaton or ZF gearboxes according to preference. The flexibility in specification made Foden trucks popular with operators who valued choice. After Packer acquired DAF in 1996 and Leyland in 1998, independent Foden production effectively ceased. At number 6 we have ERF E-14 and E-Series. ERF launched the E-Series tractor unit chassis with the improved SP4 cab in 1986. The E-Series represented a major success for the Sandbach manufacturer. ERF registered 3,740 trucks in the United Kingdom in 1988. ERF's E-Series model numbers denoted engine size, and E-Series trucks could be specified with different engine makers, including Cummins and Rolls-Royce diesels. Solid engines and simple mechanics characterised the E-Series range. Fuller gearboxes provided reliable transmission. The SP4 cab featured the distinctive steel-framed fiberglass panel construction that ERF pioneered. This construction method reduced corrosion and simplified accident repairs. The E-Series developed a cult following among owner-operators who valued reliability and simplicity. These trucks were designed to be maintained by drivers rather than requiring dealer support. At number 5 we have Seddon Atkinson 401. The Seddon Atkinson 401 updated the successful 400 series range in 1981. In the 1981 update, it was the 201 that originally used the 200's 135 horsepower international engine, not the 401. That international to Perkins change is documented for the 201 in the 1981 update, rather than being a specific 401 point. The 401 also received an improved interior, changed grille, and much improved gear linkage. Cummins E290 engines proved popular with operators. The 401 represented a classic Cummins-powered workhorse that served British haulage through the 1980s. The subsequent 401 tractor units, launched at the start of the 1980s, featured the once familiar Atkinson circular insignia. Many loyal Atkinson customers had removed Seddon Atkinson logos from earlier 400 series trucks and retrofitted the Big A badge. Management acknowledged this sentiment by returning the Atkinson circle to the 401. Very few preserved examples exist due to the working nature of these trucks. Most 401 models were operated until they were beyond economic repair. Collectors love the 401 for its combination of Atkinson heritage and proven Cummins power. At number 4 we have Leyland T45 Roadtrain. The Leyland T45 Roadtrain burst onto the scene in 1980 following over 2 years of research and development with Ogle design. The project involved £350 million investment from British Leyland. At launch, the Roadtrain won International Truck of the Year and many Design Council awards. The T45 range encompassed models from the lightweight 7.5-ton Roadrunner to heavy-duty tractor units. The Roadtrain represented the maximum weight model with distance work in mind. The C40 cab design was a joint effort between Leyland, British Road Services and Ogle Design. Production tooling utilised common parts, with only 120 parts required regardless of model. 40 components were common to every model. Engine choices included the AE C-based TL12, Rolls-Royce Eagle, 265 and 300, and Cummins 290 L10 and 14 litre 350 units. Gearboxes from Spicer provided familiarity for drivers. The Roadtrain was a common sight throughout the 1980s. Major fleet users, including Tesco, Blue Circle Industries, and British Road Services, operated large numbers. At number 3 we have Seddon Atkinson Strato. The The Seddon Atkinson Strato emerged during the early 1990s as a carryover model during transition periods of ownership. These trucks represented evolution of the previous 401 series design. The Strato continued Seddon Atkinson's tradition of offering proven drivetrains in workmanlike chassis. Early 1990s Strato models featured refinements to cab comfort and equipment levels. The Strato competed in the highly competitive British market against established continental manufacturers. Iveco acquired Seddon Atkinson in 1990 and used the brand for specialised vehicles in the United Kingdom. Production continued at the Oldham facility through the 1990s. The Strato range included Euromover, Pacer and Strato models aimed at refuse collection, recycling and construction operators. These trucks utilised Iveco mechanicals while retaining Seddon Atkinson heritage. The circular Atkinson logo remained visible on radiator grills. Iveco announced its decision to manufacture Seddon Atkinsons in Spain in 2005. The Oldham manufacturing facilities shut down in 2004. The offices closed at the end of 2006. Strato models are often overlooked by collectors focusing on earlier Seddon Atkinson products. Clean survivors are climbing in price due to increasing rarity. The final chapter of genuine Oldham production makes these trucks historically significant. Values reflect growing collector recognition of these transition period vehicles. At number 2 we have Foden Alpha Mark I. The Foden Alpha represented the last of the true Fodens before the brand effectively died. After PACCAR acquired DAF in 1996 and Leyland in 1998, Foden production ceased and gave way to DAF trucks rebadged as Foden. The Alpha was heavily based on DAF's CF-era architecture and shared many major components, but it was not simply a grille badge change. The company declared in 2005 that production of Foden trucks would cease in 2006. The last Foden was produced in July 2006. This final production was an 8x4 rigid truck delivered to the nearby British Commercial Vehicle Museum. The Alpha series maintained Foden's tradition of offering engine choice between Caterpillar and Cummins. Gearbox options included ZF or Eaton transmissions. The Foden Alpha cab featured distinctive Foden branding despite sharing fundamental design with DAF products. Foden remained a firm favourite in the construction sector as their trucks were lightweight. Customers could specify component choices when ordering new. Even though Fodens have not been manufactured for nearly 20 years, plenty of used examples remain on the market. As time progresses, survivors are being purchased and exported or finding homes in collectors' garages. Collector value is rising fast for the Alpha MK1. These trucks represent the final link to 150 years of Foden heritage. The last true Fodens command premium prices as examples become increasingly scarce. Finally, at number 1 we have ERF E-Series. The ERF E-Series launched in summer 2000 alongside the ECS model. For the first time in years, ERF offered a steel cab to customers. The company constructed a new factory in Middlewich, Cheshire, with £28 million invested in the state-of-the-art production and administration facility. This brought the company under one roof for the first time in many years. A celebration called Coming Home Moving Home was held in August 2000, when over 200 ERF trucks gathered at Sunworks to cavalcade to the new facilities. The ECX represented ERF's final attempt at independent production following acquisition by MAN in March 2000. The ECX featured Cummins ISME engines producing up to 420 brake horsepower, ZF 16-speed synchromesh manual. Gearboxes provided transmission, MAN single reduction drive axles with diff locks were fitted. The trucks utilised MAN's existing architecture with ERF badge engineering. The ECX was underrated at launch and modern enough for practical restoration. The trucks are rare on British roads today. Most ECX production was exported or operated until economic end of life. MAN closed the Middlewich factory in 2002 After Middlewich closed, ERF vehicle production moved to Austria, as described in ERF's own history. MAN ceased supply of ERF badged trucks in July 2007. Early production years of the ECX represent the final chapter of ERF's independent identity. These trucks are beloved for their Cummins power and represent the last true ERF design. Becoming very rare in this condition, surviving ECX examples command strong prices. Collectors recognise these trucks represent the end of 74 years of ERF heritage. Values are climbing rapidly as the significance of these final ERF products becomes apparent. These 10 forgotten British lorries represent the final generation of indigenous British truck manufacturing. Each model marks the end of proud manufacturing heritage.